Hello and welcome to the second video of algebraic expressions. This will be the expanding brackets topic, and we're going through a content of Pure 1 book. So, what do we have today? We basically find the product of two expressions that we multiply each term in one expression by each term in the other expression. What does that mean? That means if we got, for example, this bracket here, what happens is that we multiply each term in the first bracket here by each term in the other bracket here. So x times x and x times z, and the same goes for the y, so y times x and y times z. So when we expand this, we get x times x, which is x squared. We get x times z, that's xz, and y times x, so that is xy, and y times z, which is yz. What happens with those numbers here, I mean letters, is that we put them in alphabetical order. So you see how here we got y times x. Instead of writing yx, I wrote xy. These are equal to each other, but what happens is that you can collect the like terms better and you can keep your work nicer because you put them in alphabetical order. It's just a good habit to get used to. And here, for the triple, what happens is that we expand the first brackets, so this is the same as saying multiply those two numbers together that are the same, and then multiply by the last number. So in multiplication, normal multiplication, we would not care which one to do first. We would do this one first, and the result of 40 would be multiplied by 2. Or we could do this first, which is 10, and multiply this by 8, the remaining. And here's the same. We can multiply this first, or this first, and multiply it by the left. So what happens here is x, we're going to deal with this bracket first, because I always deal with the left brackets first from the left hand side. So x plus y times x plus y is going to be x times x, x squared. X times y is xy, and here we got y times x, which is again xy, we put them in alphabetical order, and y times y here, which is plus y squared. And then we drop down the xy. So now we collect the like terms because we got xy and xy together, meaning that they will add up to get 2 xy's. And we can drop down our x plus y. What happens next is we do the same. We just multiply each term of the first bracket with each term in the second bracket. So x squared times x and x squared times y. And then we do the same with 2xy times x and 2xy times y. And then with x squared times x and y squared times y. So we're going to do this. We are going to do x squared times x, which is x cubed, x squared times y, which is x squared y. Then we're going to go with 2xy times x, the second one, multiply by those two. So that is plus 2x squared y. and 2xy times y is 2xy squared. And now the last one, we multiply the y squared by x plus y, which is plus xy squared. And y squared multiplied by y, which is y cubed. So now we go into wrap the top off, because I'm not having any space. And what we do now is that this has like terms. So x squared y has first, second like term, and the xy squared has 2xy squared and xy squared. So xy squared is twice that. So we add them together. So that is x cubed plus the added 1 plus 2, which is 3, and then x squared y. And then the same with here, we do 2 plus 1, which is 3xy squared. And we write the y cubed down. So what does happen here with double brackets? We are going to simplify this as much as possible and expand it. So what happens is that we multiply each term of the first bracket by each term of the second bracket to get the answer. So it's the same thing. We just multiply each term by each term. We go on to concentrate on x now. That means that x times x is x squared, and x times 2 is 2x. And then we have 5. We concentrate on 5. So 5 times x is 5x. And then 5 times 2 is 10. So now we can collect the like terms. So that's x and x. This means that 2 plus 5 is 7x. So x squared plus 7x plus 10 is the final answer for x plus 5 multiplied by x plus 2. Now we're going to work out x minus 2y multiplied by x squared plus 1. So we multiply the x by x squared plus 1 in the first one. So x cubed plus x. And for the second one we got minus 2y times x squared plus 1. So again we put it in alphabetical order. So x squared y, and minus 2y multiplied by 1 is minus 2y. We got no like terms, so this is the final answer. Okay, now we got this question, which includes 3 things to do. We have to multiply x by 5x minus 3, and this result by 2x minus y plus 4. So x times 5x minus 3y is 5x squared minus 3xy. This is quite simple. So what I did is x multiplied by this and this to give us 5x squared minus 3xy. Now we drop down the 2x minus y plus 4 and we multiply out the same as before. So each term, so first term by each second term, and the second term, so this, this, and this. So now we just deal with expanding. So that will be equal to 5x squared multiplied by 2x is going to be 10x cubed. And 5x squared times minus y is minus 5x squared y. Now 5x squared times 4 is going to be plus 20x to the power of 2. Now we deal with minus 3xy multiplied by the bracket, and we get minus 6x squared y, and minus 3xy times minus y is going to be plus 3xy squared, and minus 3xy times 4 is minus 12xy. Now what we do here is collect the like terms. So x cubed doesn't have any term, that is a family of this x cubed, and x squared y is there, so we're going to minus them together to give us minus 11, so that is minus 11x squared y. Then you have the x squared here, which doesn't have any friends as well, so we just leave it as plus 20x squared. 10x cubed can be left as well because it doesn't have any friends, and xy squared doesn't have any friends either, and the xy also doesn't have any friends. Now we're dealing with three brackets. So if those brackets were numbers, let's say x would be equal to 1, or actually 8, then that would be 8 minus 4 would be 4, times 11 times 9. So how do we tackle this? We would do 4 times 11 first to give us 44, and then times 9. Or we could do 11 times 9, which is 99, times 4. It doesn't matter which way we do it. It matters that if we do those two brackets first, we drop down the x plus 1 to multiply later by the answer of this one, or we can multiply out this one and then multiply the result by x minus 4 for this one. I'm just going to start from the left hand side, so x minus 4 times x plus 3 is going to be x squared plus 3x minus 4x minus 12. Why is that? Because we multiply x by x to give us x squared. We multiply x by 3 to give us 3x, minus 4 by x to give us minus 4x, and minus 4 by 3 to get minus 12. So that's how this is worked out. Now we collect the like terms in the bracket. So minus 3x minus 4x like each other, so this gives us minus x. And now we drop down the x plus 1, because we have to multiply it by x plus 1 as well. So each term, x squared is multiplied by x plus 1, and minus x multiplied by x plus 1, and minus 12 multiplied by x plus 1. So that gives us x squared times x plus 1, which is x cubed plus x squared. Now we got minus x times x plus 1, so minus x squared minus x, and minus 12 multiplied by x plus 1, which is minus 12x minus 12. Now we collect the like terms, so that's x squared and x squared, that is minus x and minus 12x, and this leaves us with x cubed plus 0, which we don't include, minus 13x minus 12, which is the right answer. Now we're dealing with real life problems. So what happens here is that the diagram shows a rectangle with a square cutout. The rectangle has the following length and the following width. The square has the following length. Find and expand and simplify the expression for the shaded area. So we do the same as we would do in normal question. So let's say that this was our question. What we do is we would multiply together the 10 by 6 to get 60, 3 by 3 to get 9, and we minus those results to give us 51 centimeters squared. That will be the shaded area of the green area. So basically what happens here, we do the same. We multiply x plus 7 by 3x minus y plus 4, and we minus this by the square to give us the shaded green area. So what happens now is we multiply all those brackets out and simplify it as much as possible. So there's no centimeters, no meters. So basically what we do at the end of the question is that we put units squared because we don't know the units of what is used. I'm going to show you at the end of this question what I mean. So in normal maths, where you have x plus 7, this could be, for example, a 9. So 9 times, for example, 5 will be 45. But what would you do for the area? You would have centimeters squared or meters squared. But if the question doesn't give units, you just write units squared. So if we multiply out x plus 7 by 3x minus y plus 4, we get 3x squared, because x times 3x. We get minus xy, because x multiplied by minus y. We get 4x, because of x times 4. And here we get plus 21x, because 7 times 3x. And we get minus 7y, because of plus 7 times minus y, and plus 28 because of 7 times 4. Now we minus this by x squared minus 4x plus 4, and how I did it, I included the minus and expanded those brackets. So x times x is x squared, x times minus 2, and x times minus 2 is minus 4x, and minus 2 times minus 2 is 4. Now we're going to subtract those from those. So we got the like terms of 3x squared and x squared. We got the like terms of x and x. And we got normal numbers 28 and 4. And minus xy and minus 7y stay the same. So first of all, we do 3x squared minus x squared, that is 2x squared. Then we have our standalone xy, and now we do 4 plus 21 minus 4, which is 21x, minus 7y because it doesn't have any friends, and plus 28 minus 4, which is going to be minus, I think I made a mistake. So that is actually plus 4 plus 4 plus 21, because minus makes plus. So that is 4 plus 4, which is 8, plus 21, which is 29. So plus 29x. We leave the 7y, and we minus the 4, so plus 24. And that is units squared. And basically that is the whole chapter. we expand the brackets each time by another term, and don't be scared by the normal questions. Just think about what would happen with normal numbers instead of letters. Thanks for watching my video, and see you in the next one, which will be about factorizing, so that is opposite of expanding.